You are listening to In Conversation with Jenny and Mark.
Hello everyone, I am the Reverend Jenny Adams. I am the priest in charge of Holy Trinity, Prince Consort Road, South Kensington.
And I am the Reverend Mark Adams, and I am the Vicar of St Margaret's Church, Barking. Welcome again to In Conversation with Jenny and Mark. It's good to be back. Sorry, we weren't here last week. We didn't manage to get a recording done, but we're back now, aren't we, Jenny?
We are indeed, yes.
We are indeed back now. And we are looking at All Saints, and we are looking at the Gospel reading set for All Saints, which is Luke chapter 6, reading from verse 20 to 31. So, should we get straight into it then, Jen? We're going to crack on?
Yeah, why not? Let's do it.
Why
Put it
not?
on screen, I'll read it.
Let's put that up and you read it.
Okay, 20 to 31, yes?
Yes.
Jesus looked up at his disciples and said, "Blessed are you who are poor, for yours is the kingdom of God. Blessed are you who are hungry now, for you will be filled. Blessed are you who weep now, for you will laugh. Blessed are you when people hate you and when they exclude you, revile you, and defame you on account of the Son of Man. Rejoice in that day and leap for joy, for surely your reward is great in heaven, for that is what their ancestors did to the prophets. But woe to you who are rich, for you have received your consolation. Woe to you who are full now, for you will be hungry. Woe to you who are laughing now, for you will mourn and weep. Woe to you when all speak well of you, for that is what their ancestors did to the false prophets. But I say to you that listen, love your enemies, do good to those who hate you, bless those who curse you, pray for those who abuse you. If anyone strikes you on the cheek, offer the other also. And from anyone who takes away your coat, do not withhold even your shirt. Give to everyone who begs from you, and if anyone takes away your goods, do not ask for them again. Do to others as you would have them do to you."
Okay. Well, that's a nice easy passage, isn't it?
Do you know what it reminds me of?
What does it remind you of?
And just as we were reading that, did you ever read Charles Kingsley's The Water Babies?
No.
Okay, with Mrs Doasyouwouldbedoneby and be done by as you would.
No, I'm
do.
afraid not. It's something lacking in my education.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's clearly lacking in mine because I can't quite remember what the names were. But it was something about it was in that last little bit of paragraph. It reminded me of Mrs Do As You Would Be Done By.
Mrs. Doasyouwouldbedoneby. Well, I mean, it's a good name. Also, of course, called the Golden Rule, isn't it? Do to others as you would have them do to you.
Yeah, it's much better in a children's book.
Of course. Anyway, so I guess I think we've done a podcast on this passage before because we probably had it when we were going through Luke earlier in the year, sort of ringing a vague bell. But of course,
I think so because there are 4 blessings, 4 woes, aren't they? They
yeah,
matched.
I think we've done at least the first part of this before because it's called the Sermon on the Plain, as opposed to the Sermon on the Mount that you have in Matthew. This is Luke's Sermon on the Plain. But of course, we're looking at it with a particular angle this time, aren't we? Because this has been chosen as the reading for All Saints. And I'm
Yes.
kind of, whenever I find this kind of thing, I'm thinking, why? Why have they chosen this reading for All Saints? It doesn't seem to be particularly obvious, but maybe it is to you. I don't know. What do you think? Why do you think they've chosen this for All Saints?
It was not obvious to me. We might as well name check where I'm going to go with this. Okay, it was not obvious to me, and in fact, I would have suggested that we used a different reading. But Heart Edge, so St Martin in the Fields, Heart Edge, produce a reflection every week, mostly which is not suitable for my congregation. But on this occasion, they talk about All Saints. And then they go into, let me start from the beginning. So they talk about All Saints being about us being connected. It's a
Okay.
reminder that we live interconnectedly. It's not holy and separate. It's we're all saints together, and it's supposed to be lived out with within community,
Okay.
relying on each other, helping each other. And as we know, if you live within community, you kind of rub up against each other and you learn stuff about yourself and that
Yeah.
sort of thing. So it does that. And then it goes on really to say that these blessings and woes are teaching of how to live interdependently. And the
Okay.
blessings, I can't quite find it in the middle. So the blessings are the moral lesson, and like blessings are material, not metaphorical, and they place where dependence mostly is. So if they're talking about the poor, they're always dependent on somebody else, and so that shows where, yeah, where you would be dependent. And the woes is not because it's terrible to be rich, it's because you suddenly become self-sufficient.
Or you
You know,
think you're self-sufficient,
yes,
I
if
think,
you read
actually.
down that, what it is a danger of self-sufficiency.
Okay.
Um,
Oh, I like
rather,
that.
and then of course going back to, yeah, the saints are a reminder that we are all saints. It's not just some people that we know as Saint this or
You
Saint
know, as
that.
saints,
You
yeah.
know, there are
Yeah.
saints
Well,
in
of course,
there.
we're good Protestants, aren't we? So, we're going to say that.
Well, yeah, I mean, I
Well,
like a
I
good
like to
saint
think I am.
story
I'm
as
not
well,
sure you
though.
are. Yeah, I like that. I like that. So basically, it's saying that you're blessed if you need others, then, and you have a woe if you think you're self-sufficient. Is that what it's saying?
Yeah, I think that's basically the way it's heading. Obviously, that's summarizing a whole reflection. But
I mean, if
yes,
obviously if you need to go, read Heart Edge, but yeah, I guess that's an interesting angle, isn't it? Yeah, what does
I
that have to
quite
do with being a
like the
saint, though?
angle.
Because saints, what does that have to do with being a saint in the sort of sense of, you know,
It does say, I can't remember.
what do you think it means? What do you think it means?
I have no thoughts.
You know, no thoughts. Okay. We're supposed to be having
I
thoughts here,
think,
Jenny. We're supposed to be helping people think about this passage.
okay, well, my only thought was I might buy one of those net fairy lights as a bit of an example. That's my only, because they're all interconnected and
And I guess,
shiny.
how does that then link to the second part, which is kind of, I suppose I was looking at it thinking, this is what you could call saintly living, isn't it? This is how we think saints should live. Um, and I think, and I was reading, there is essentially just reading a little bit of Tom Wright saying, if everybody lived like this, the world would genuinely be a better place. I mean,
Oh yeah,
it's not that
absolutely.
we Christians are not great at living like this. People who are not Christians are not great at living like this. I mean, whenever I've had stuff stolen from me, I've usually been pretty cross about it and wanted to get it back. Jesus seems to be suggesting that I just shouldn't worry about it.
I just keep giving to the poor. Just keep giving and giving and giving and giving. It's like, okay. Yeah, I think that's basically what it is. I'm not sure that we really go that far. Um, but yes, it's saintly living. And I think, I mean, for those that are preaching, you can just think back to the people that have made a difference really in your lives. I mean, I like a good story of somebody I've known that'll be a saint. The thing is,
Have you
I've
got
preached on
one?
All Saints quite a lot, and I'm running out of people now.
Have you got a story?
Um, yeah. So I normally um I would reference my grandma.
Okay.
Okay, so my grandma was a good Christian woman and used to take me to church when I was staying with her and give me Werther's originals. And I loved it because she would hold me by the hand and show me off to all her friends, and they all gave me 50p. I was cashing in. But I would just be in a normal service. She would bring me colouring, and I just think my grandma was a real quiet but stoic Christian woman. Just quiet faith, We don't come from a Christian family. I don't think until I was an adult, in fact, until she died, I had ever really realised it. But actually, she was the praying person in our family, and she used to look after me, and she always used to kind of go, Jenny's a good girl. Jenny's a good girl. Nobody else thought that, but my grandma did. Jenny's a good girl. But that kind of just quiet but secure in her faith.
Yeah.
And she will be a saint in heaven.
Yes.
And there are others, people along the journey that have now passed and now died and made a difference. But just normal, everyday people with a strong.
I mean, it's interesting to talk about that sort of web of interconnection, isn't it? Through this, needing others. I mean, obviously, again, I mean, we can't really want to get into the controversies of the Reformation, but there is that sense here of us being connected. The church, as the good prayer book says, the church militant here in earth, which is us, and the church. What's the opposite of that? I don't know what the other bit of it is.
I don't know, but I often feel very militant.
Yeah, very militant. Yeah. But yeah, there's the church in heaven. There's the church with God in heaven, and there's the church militant here in earth of what we're doing, and that sort of sense of us. Well, I suppose really, if you want to be scriptural about it, it's Hebrews and the great cloud of witnesses, isn't it, cheering us on? How does this? Do you think there's a sort of
and I love that moment in communion where we go with angels and archangels and all the company of heaven. Because I do just picture them as and you'll find my hands go, the angels and the archangels and all the company of heaven.
We're all here. We're all doing it. Yeah.
Yeah, all together at this moment.
All together. Yeah. Oh, I like that. I shall have to use that Eucharistic prayer on Sunday. But I guess, could you draw that out of the passage? It is about, well, I suppose in a way, it's like Jesus actually is to his hearers connecting those with those that have gone before, isn't he? Rejoice in that day and leap for joy, for surely your reward is great in heaven, for that is what their ancestors did to the prophets. So, I mean, that of course,
he's already done it for us.
Sainthood is also, of course, connected, particularly, well, it is connected with martyrdom, and that sense here that this is, people are going to revile you and defame you, and maybe do worse to you, and for many people have been killed for this, through the centuries, and still are today, of course. We shouldn't forget that.
Okay, you stopped for a minute, but I think I've caught up with what you said. Okay, that's good.
Well, I was just sort of thinking about the sort of the connection of martyrdom, and Jesus is saying that this is to be expected. Yeah, it's certainly a bracing message, isn't it? It's a challenging one.
Yeah, and I think for an All Saints sermon, I'm probably not going to take the passage apart like I normally do. So I normally, when I'm preaching, I talk about this bit and then the next bit, and I think I will talk about All Saints as a whole, and yes, and this connect it in a little bit, but I don't think I'll do a whole.
Yeah, I mean, you could almost even introduce it if it's a communion service, as I mean, in ours is, and I might do this. This is maybe even start with those words from the Eucharistic prayer, or at least bring them in fairly early on. Because I think the difference is, if I was preaching on this passage on the third Sunday after Trinity or whatever, I wouldn't make it about All Saints. That's not what it.
No, and I don't normally. I normally kind of take the passage apart and what can we take from this bit, but I don't think I'm going to do that for All Saints, as I say. I think.
Whereas here we're looking for that sort of theme, aren't we, around what makes this an All Saints passage? And I like that idea of interconnection. And in one sense, what did you say? Quite simply, you need others, or you're self-sufficient. You recognise you're need of others, or you think you're self-sufficient. I mean, of course, that's the sort of great lie in mindset of capitalist society. I mean, I'm sounding really quite militant here in earth now, aren't I? But the great lie is we're all self-made. We've done it all ourselves. What about the school you went to? What about the road you drive on? What about the
well, more than that, I think, because people starting to kind of investigate or explore a bit of spirituality. There's a lot of trying to find themselves. I mean, I'm here. I'm with it. Not a problem. Found me.
So what are you saying? That
and I think that's quite self-inward looking. That's not a thing you do in community. I don't, and the Christian faith is different. We need each other. We're
Yeah.
interconnected. That we become better people when we are with other people, because it knocks the corners off, really.
Yes, and if you're poor, so what's Jesus saying here then? If you're poor and hungry and weeping, you are
You're
more likely
dependent.
to recognize your need of others than if you are rich.
You're more likely to recognize your need of
And
others
wealthy.
and of God, and
Okay.
therefore you're as dependent on God and other people, and therefore you're blessed.
And so, in a sense, the second ones are a bit of an illusion, then, really, on
Yeah.
that ruling, isn't it? Because then you are, you think you're self-sufficient, but really you're not. And yes, okay, you can look at that in kind
Mm.
of, I don't know, I don't like the word worldly, but it's the word that's coming to my secular terms, or and you can look at it in faith terms as well, can't you? You know,
Yes, it works for. I mean, they are the opposites, aren't they?
yeah,
Ends of the
yeah,
spectrum.
yeah,
And it's a bit hyperbole as well, isn't it? Because most of us live a middle ground.
yeah. Well, we know that Jesus likes
Most of
to
us are not
hyperbole.
starving and we're not stuffed. We're just full, aren't we? It's like-
Well, of course, we are on one level. We would say we're blessed that we can go to the supermarket and buy lots and lots of food, and we have that available to us. So we don't, but
Mhm.
if you've got the money, of course,
Yeah.
which you might not have. But yeah, so really, it's about recognizing our need of others, recognizing our need of God, maybe in the other order, and I guess therefore, if our church is a part of that communion of saints, what does it mean to be a communion of saints as St. Margaret or as Holy Trinity or as whatever other church you are? I guess is another, and that kind of feeds in for me the work that we're doing, around with citizens and all that sort of stuff. That if you're at St. Margaret's, you hopefully will know about. If you're interested, you can find out as well. But I won't. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I think I would go down the community line, the inclusiveness line. I probably won't have time on Sunday, but I sometimes talk about random saints that I know about, just like because some of them are great stories.
that's my all saints talk, right? So I've got a book that might do one or two on Sunday actually at the beginning of the service. I've got a book of all the saints' days, and you can go around the congregation and say, "What's your birthday?" And then because there's one for each day of the year, and you can say, "What's your birthday?" And then then you can say, "Right, let's look up your saint for your birthday and read the story."
I don't think the three I've got here are all age talks. I
Well,
mean, I've got
I gotta say, this is a children's book, right? So it's sort of slightly sanitized and actually very Catholic, which makes it also quite fun. But
I mean,
yeah,
I've got St.
actually, what we
Catherine of Siena who claimed to have a ring made out of Jesus's foreskin. I don't think that's an all-age talk.
yeah, well, you had to bring that up, didn't you? I mean, I think I was going to say my Thursday communion. We always look at the saint story, and they're fascinating. That's really good to understand. I think the stories of those who've gone before us.
Oh, what about Saint? Got a better one, St. Agatha of Sicily. I'll be great. I'll come to communion.
Is that tomorrow?
Yeah.
You can come and read it. That'd be great. You can come and do the service if you want.
I don't know if it is tomorrow. She's just another great saint. We've just got some good
But
ones.
yeah, I think it's interesting to celebrate and recognize those who've gone before. And I think some parts of my upbringing is
Mm.
easy to lose some of that and get all worried about it. But actually, it's great. It's great to be inspired by those who've gone before us as well, isn't it? Because as you quite rightly say, from this, we're all interconnected and we need to recognize that.
Yeah, sometimes we make a difference before and we don't even know it. So going back to my grandma, she would have had no idea of the difference she has made in my life. She died
Yeah.
before I even came to church or were ordained. But I will
Mm.
be lighting a candle on Sunday for her.
Oh, that's lovely.
Always.
And the golden rule, do to others as you would have them do to you.
Yes.
Sort of sums it up, really, doesn't it? And has summed it up for many people through the centuries since Jesus said that.
And go and have a look
Enjoy,
at Charles Kingsley's Water Babies, because I can't quite remember the reference, but I'm sure it connects.
enjoy All Saints, everybody. Thank you for listening, and do come along and celebrate All Saints at St Margaret's or Holy Trinity if you are in the London area. We would love to see you. And we'll be back next week, Jenny, yeah?
We will.
We will. Thanks for listening, everybody. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to In Conversation with Jenny and Mark. Please subscribe for more episodes on all the usual podcast platforms.